So yeah, this would be the first time I've ever done this before, but this is a podcast I've been talking about for way too long. I've actually done some with people, but this would be like the very first time I've ever done it by myself. Let's see, where do we start? I mean, it's hard to begin when not addressing everything that's been going on. So I think all of us, from all the people that I've talked to, it's kind of had us behaving a bit off brand, not just as a group, but as an individual. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have done a lot of self evaluation and probably taken more risks. It seems like it's very fitting for the time. And I would say myself, even doing something like this is brand new to me, you know. And as nerve wracking as it can be, I know that with more time, it becomes a lot easier, just like anything else. So, I don't know everything. I mean, you're listening to me and shit. I'm not telling you I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm learning as I go. And hey, if you want to join me along for the journey, shit, join me. But I've been seeing a surge of behavior that I haven't seen in a minute. And I think it's just because, of course, social media keeps us all connected. We tend to forget how important the physical part is. When we're not physically around people, how much it can really change how we feel, how we think. Individuals go crazy. It's not just all about contact through DMs and messages. There's physical touch that's needed. There's the feeling of energy, coming into a room and making an impression, or maybe someone's leaving an impression on you. There's just that form of communication that we just realize how important it is, especially for our survival. Now, get into that. I'm not trying to make this seem bigger than what it is or making it sound so deep or complex, but I did get on dating apps, and I do see a lot of people. I mean, it's even in articles that more people are just getting on dating apps and just trying to connect and meet other people. But, it really leads to nowhere. It hasn't really. And I think it's just because we almost have it as like entertainment, or from the individuals that I've ran across, it almost seems like we just don't keep up. I mean, we have Instagram, so a lot of people put their Instagrams on their dating apps, and then they basically say, "Hey, contact me on here." So I don't know if it's like a ploy to get more followers, or maybe it's their way to shoo me off. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's not a big deal to me, but I haven't been very successful on online dating. And I don't know if there's like a system or there's like a flow of how it's supposed to go, but I ain't that much successful. And if anything, I kind of lose track of messages and I'm not good with it. And really, if I'm going to be completely honest, I've only been on 2 dates. And I mean, they were fine. I mean, nothing bad, nothing wrong, but just wasn't for me. Especially right now. I mean, you can't really go out and enjoy yourself. It's not very in the traditional way we're used to. But, getting back to what I'm saying, as far as communication and the new difference of how we all have been behaving, I do see it. I know a lot of people feel it too. The world has changed. It's shifted. We don't know if it's going to be exactly the same again. We're not going to know if like our forms of even greeting each other is going to be the same. It's interesting. But then again, who knows? I mean, maybe we just shrug it off and move on, and then it's the same again. I really don't know. But because of being sheltered in and because of spending more time to myself, I did reconnect with some people, people from my past. I don't know if y'all have ever done this, but see, I graduated high school in 2007, and every once in a while, I'll see people that I went to high school with. Some of them I didn't even really talk to, or maybe we're acquaintances, but just never spoken to each other. And one individual, we followed each other, and when that happened, I don't know how, that whole thing, like they post a story, maybe it's something motivational or it's something cool, and you reply, and then y'all start talking, and you probably catch them at the right time. So it pretty much played out that way. And it was very interesting because this is a person that, one, we probably only shared or exchanged like 3 sentences through our whole high school year. And I think we only were around each other for like 1 year. So that was pretty cool. And I don't know. It's just the way the communication was going. It just seemed like, all right, there's something here as far as like good conversation. So it was like literally the next day I was asked to go hang out with them. But now I can say this, and I'm being completely honest, like you can feel the vibes weren't on the sexual level. Like it wasn't like I was going there to, with that in mind, and I wasn't being asked, and I can feel like that was like what was part of the plan. So, you know, I did it, and it was just something that I've never done before. That's very spontaneous for me. Like I'm very low key. Like I'm to myself. I work on music, and we're pretty much in studio and away from public, really. Away from the public because we're just creatives, and that's just how most of us get down. So yeah, like the following day, I drive out there, and like it at first it's always like a little like I don't want to say uncomfortable, but I think everybody kind of tends to want to fill out everybody's intentions. So on my end, and as a man, I'm gonna be honest, like I always feel like I'm threatening, or I always feel like she has a lot more to worry about. And so I start feeling very nervous or guilty or like scared to say certain things. You know what I mean? And I'm not even talking about flirtatious shit. I'm talking about like basically giving them a hug when I greet them, or, just I don't want to look fake. One, the dynamic of how women and men, exchange even greetings and compliments, just it's a different climate today. So I'm just trying to make her feel as comfortable as possible. We just started talking about high school and our impressions of each other. And that was very interesting. Now, I know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this because it's a real thing. A lot of people finish high school, years down the line, run into somebody that they knew. Now, it could have been somebody you had a crush on, could have been somebody you never even shared words with, but you kind of find out things about you didn't even think or know, I've had a few cases where there was girls that I had like huge crushes on, or I thought were beautiful and wouldn't even give me the time of day or look my direction, just to find out that they felt the same way, or they thought I was mean or stuck up because I was quiet. And I mean, that's definitely not the case, but it's just strange to find those things out. So in this case here, we learned a lot about each other. The whole thing about your crowd or the people you surrounded yourself with, you're kind of guilty by association. Like I was looked at as some kind of hoe, like real shit. Like I did a song back in the day. I mean, y'all can look it up. It's called Toss Ups. I dropped that when I was like 16. That was in 2006. And I mean, it went viral on MySpace. It kind of changed like how people were treating me in high school. And I really just wasn't for that life. I mean, to be honest, like it was fun sometimes, but really, I'm not a partier. I don't go out like that. So, it did change how my life was at the moment, but it's not something that like I can say I want to do again. So hanging around the people that I did and being at parties and, just being around the individuals I was around, it looked like, or it could have appeared that I was just like them, or my intentions were the same way. So now I started feeling even more nervous because I'm like, okay, I know this person invited me over, but it's almost like, am I being confronted that like, you were a piece of shit? I thought I was going to go there, but honestly, it didn't. I really see this person really just trying to fill me out because I guess through the short conversation that we had online, I kind of changed the perspective or, changed the eye of how she saw me. So, started opening up and talking, and then we started getting more comfortable. And as we did and finding out this stuff about each other, I was very impressed and very surprised, I guess, because the individual that I met up with, she was very quiet in school. Like you would try to talk to her, and I did at times, but not even like trying to talk to her like that, but even to make her laugh. And I just noticed how quiet she was and timid. So I did bring that up, only to realize that, I mean, people are shy, yes, but a lot of people deal with their own battles and demons. And high school, as silly as it sounds, it can be a trying time. Like as you're young, you don't understand the world yet. You don't understand 9 to 5s. You don't understand the other stuff adults deal with. But everything in that building matters. The clothes you wear, the way you look, the people you hang around with. There's nowhere to hide. Versus when you get out of that place, hey, if you don't want to do shit, you want to lock yourself in the basement Hey, by all means, no one's got to check on you. You don't have to have social media. But in high school, there's no running. And I can see like the way she talks, she was just very misunderstood. And she almost felt like she couldn't fit in, that she couldn't open up or be around people. So I understood now. And looking at her life and how it's playing out now, those demons and things that she dealt with tried her whole youth, even her early 20s and mid 20s. And it led to a lot of things. It led to a lot of what she used as destruction and turmoil in her life. Now, I'm not judging her, like I'm not going to tell her business as far as I'm not going to say her name, but learning this stuff is just interesting to me because, as I sat there and we both talked and then we just gained like some knowledge from each other and understanding, it's like, fuck, who would have known 12 years later from even like a quick exchange or no exchange, we'd be sitting here talking and finding a lot about each other, going through 12 years of our lives just to end up right here and opening up about this. This is a crazy situation. This probably doesn't happen a lot. I feel like quarantine has I hate using the term quarantine, this pandemic or this whole situation has pushed us towards that. It can be a beautiful thing. And it's nothing that I want to ignore anymore. It's nothing that I want to make it seem like it's not useful. It can be. Now, your choice to fucking put on a mask and shit like that, that's really your choice. Please do if you're around me, but I don't care that much as far as getting into arguments about it. I really wear mine to basically make people feel safe too. Yes, I do it because I don't want to be coughing if I am or anybody coughing on me and getting in my mouth. But at the same time, it's like, respect everybody around you. Don't be a hoe. You know what I mean? So that leads me to another point and something I want to talk about because that's another thing that meeting different women around this time. And again, I ain't looking like no hoe or trying to be like no hoe. What I'm saying is I really try to get to learn from people when I meet them. Okay. Now, I know that sounds like a fucking lie, but I'm being 100% honest. So I do want to ask, do most women, like how often are y'all put in a situation where everything seems good or it seems like it's platonic? Like between you and a guy, y'all would have like a friendship, and then the guy turns around and tries to fuck you. It's crazy because the conversation I had with this girl, as it seems like me and her are gearing towards becoming really good friends, there is that concern, like I'm being myself. One, I'm not trying to charm anybody at this point in my life. And, if you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me. That's it. But in the case here, as I'm listening to her, she still has it in her mind that this guy might try to fuck me. Now, we just got straight to it as far as having the conversation. And I'm just listening. But this ain't the first conversation I've had with any woman. This is a real legit thing. And it's kind of crazy. And I do want to know opinions. I do want to know what guys and girls think. Like, are platonic relationships real? If so, is there like a limit? Is there a way you stop that? Or like there's a cap on that shit? Like, do you only take it to so far? And when either one is in a relationship, is it even existent? That's another question I do want to ask, because even for myself, I don't know. Like, there was a phase in my life, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't play no games. I'm gonna be honest right there. I don't play no games when it comes to that shit. Like, if I'm looking for something or that's what I want, that's what I'm gonna tell you. And if you don't fuck with it, hey, we don't have to talk. We don't have to do anything. So that's the difference between me and a lot of dudes that I do know. So it's always in your best benefit to just be honest and be upfront about it. But yeah, there was a phase in my life where I didn't think a platonic relationship was completely legit. And to be honest, some girls that said they wanted a platonic relationship were the ones who made the first move. It's happened. I ain't going to call no one out. I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm saying I think it happens on both ends, We kind of play that game because we don't want to look like a hoe or look like we're promiscuous. And, I caught myself in those situations, but it's nothing that I'm like completely proud of. But, I was young, figuring out the world and really trying to find myself. But I really do like connecting with people. I really do like learning from other people, their cultures, their interests. There's just something about it. I like to know what makes you tick. Not because I want to make you tick, but I want to understand how you handle things and what your perspective says about certain things. It's important to me. Now with this person that I basically reconnected with, it looks like we're going to be great friends, and I see her getting her life together, and I'm very supportive of it. I like the way she's thinking right now. I like the things that she's saying she wants to leave in her past, and I'm like very supportive because I know that all it's going to be is beneficial to you. And it feels good. Like, it feels good to know that like I got someone I can connect with, become a real friend. And I think that stuff like that doesn't come around very often. Now, I can say the whole dating app thing, I just don't take it serious. I don't know how many people really do take it serious, and it's not really for me right now. Like, I still have it. My profile is incomplete because I don't know what the fuck to say. I'm bad at social media. That's one. I can talk, but I'm quiet when you first meet me. I just got to get to know who you are. That's why like doing this podcast is probably the most anybody's going to hear me talk unless you really know me. And it's not like my opinion means anything to you. I mean, if you want to hear me out, cool. If you want to have a conversation, let's talk. But, this whole situation at hand has just been interesting. And I'm realizing how much even myself, how I've changed and my outlook on things. And I'm not saying this is due to the pandemic. It's more, I'd gone through a few hurdles lately. Like I left a job that I felt like I needed. I did learn a lot being there, but it was just kind of, it started to get stressful. Like it's just anything else where that career just starts feeling like a job and you're having creative differences. You're not meant to be there, especially when you see yourself as a leader. Like, I'm not trying to take over someone's company. I mean, it's never my intent. My whole thing is I like finding a problem and fixing it. I'm a problem solver. I've been doing it for years, studying data. Like, I love doing that shit. Besides music, e-commerce, business solution, logistics, anything in that realm, data analyst, like that's me. You know what I mean? I love that shit. But when you join like a startup or like a company on the rise, I mean, you got to wear multiple hats. And that's when like your career starts feeling like fucking hectic, chaotic. And you could roll with the punches, but everybody's got to be in tune with each other. And you can't always guarantee that. Maybe at the beginning, everything can feel kind of, steady and it seems like the growth is coming and you're all excited, but then y'all can run into some hiccups. Y'all can run into moments where the revenue is stagnant and then you got different attitudes coming out the woodworks. Or you gain enough respect at the company that people around you, even the owner or even, somebody at a high position is not feeling you for that. You end up being the individual everybody comes to. Some people, it rubs them the wrong way. So I saw myself not enjoying myself there. I learned a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wish the company a lot of success, but things got in the way where I just couldn't be there anymore. And it started taking away from my music. So, it's a blessing in disguise, but I'm glad I'm out of it. And a major shift that's happened from that. You get that worry, like, what the hell's going to happen? Like, this whole pandemic hit. I don't know shit about unemployment. I don't know shit about fucking, any kind of assistance programs or anything like that. So this is all brand new to me. But I can say that I'm very grateful that when I left with a good friend of mine and we partnered together and we're doing everything together. Like, we pretty much, all the knowledge we took there, we're taking it and applying it and helping out these smaller businesses. Let's help other people win. Because at the end of the day, impact is everything to me. All that leads to this. I know I'm saying a bunch of shit right now, but it's just kind of like I'm running through this and it's practice, but self-evaluation has just been the big key of everything. but impact is so important. No matter which way you do it, whether you're an artist, whether you're a fucking street vendor, anything that changes or lines up somebody's day, impact is what it's all about. And I feel like that's where I found my calling. Just like the individual that I met up with, we're talking every day, talking about our past issues, our worries, but also talking about our successes and our goals. And I know that because of that person's environment, she wasn't able to talk like this. She wasn't able to have these conversations. Like, I've been through it too. I know how that's like. I'm comfortable with my sexuality to make stupid jokes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm comfortable with my, in my own skin to be made fun of. That's very important. But sometimes your environment doesn't allow that to happen. So knowing that, and knowing that I could be of help, just even lending an ear or lending a voice, that's impact. That shit has become so important to me. That's all I want to do. Like, I want people to hear me and relate. Like, damn, I understand this dude. Like, I would like to talk to him. Well, come talk to me. Like, let's figure out this life shit together. You know what I mean? Like, it's not supposed to be easy, but I know that with the power of impact, and if you have it and understand it, because all of us have it. You all do. You could wake up in the morning, say good morning, say everything you're grateful for, call somebody, tell someone you ain't talked to in a while that you love them, call a family member, and it just starts, it's a domino effect. You bleed out that energy, it goes right out there, and it'll come right back. Now, I ain't trying to sound all zen and shit like that, but I just, from experience and from what I've been dealing with, that's probably been the most effective for me. Now, I'm kind of like out of ideas at the moment, but I just wanted to get a quick start and give y'all like an introduction. Most of my podcasts will be with guests, and I'm not trying to interview people. I really want people that are interesting to talk to, and people that, like maybe they do a trade or they own a business or they've been through some shit. Just open up. Like, I'm not here to, interview people, and it's not that kind of format. Like I said, being real and relatable, that's the way you impact people. And hopefully just off this first one, I can keep going with some more. Like I said, I had to drink tequila. Like, I took like 3 shots before this, only because it's a little nerve-wracking by yourself. It's a different ball game, because I've always been used to like joined, being, someone joining me. But like I said, I'm gonna roll with the punches. I'm gonna learn this shit. I'm gonna get comfortable. You gonna get comfortable too, right? Well, fuck it. Let's do this. Stay tuned.